My name is Val Hasse, and this is my home. I just want to welcome you to it. Thank you so much for coming. I know weekends are so busy, and today is so hot. You probably just want to be floating in cold water somewhere. So I'm glad that you're here. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am today. I hardly slept last night. This is better than the President of the United States. Like way better. We have some really amazing guests. And for those of you who are here just kind of going, I don't even know why I'm here, but I was told to come, you're just going to be so blessed to be here. And for those of you who are in Arbonne or just getting started, like we have rock stars here today. And these are people that are heroes of mine. They have all spoken into my life in such meaningful ways. I can't even begin to tell you, and changed not just my business, but helped me grow as a person, and are part of the reason that I'm able to do a lot of the things that I'm able to do. And so I'm just so thankful. We have, I'm going to first introduce Elizabeth. Come up here with me. Elizabeth used to live here. This is Elizabeth Constantinescu. She's an executive regional vice president with Arbonne. This is the woman that chased me around, and I ran from her because she was doing some network marketing thing, and I didn't want anything to do with it. But she caught me, and I'm so glad she did. She is, she left me, so that's why I'm tearful. She didn't leave me. She just moved to Tennessee. But she is a precious friend. We're alike in so many ways, like the real crazy parts. And I just love her so much. So she's here, and she's going to talk with us. And then we also have our National Vice President, Miriam Bell. Here's you over there. She's tall, so you can see her. And she's in Orange County. She and her hubby, Ed, some of you have met them before. Lisa Voorhees, who, if you're a part of Arbonne, you know, she's like our mama, right?
Your great-grandmama.
Yeah. You guys, she pours into us every day, every week, every month, every year. She loves us so much. She doesn't have to, do it. She doesn't make any money off of us, but she loves us. And she has so much wisdom, so I can't wait to share her with you. I can't believe she's in my house. Kathy Epperson is here from Washington. And Kathy, well, I'm kind of confused. If she's our mama, you're our...
she's your great-grandmother, she said.
She's great-grandmother, and are you?
I'd be your grandmother.
She'd be grandmother, because she wants to be younger, so...
Yeah.
Kathy is an amazing leader in Arbonne, and Kathy gave me some words this year that rocked my world in so many ways. You have no idea. It's one of these days I'll get to share the stories with you. So to have them in my home, I can't believe it. I'm kind of like floating a little bit. So you're in for a treat. So with that, I'm going to let Elizabeth take it over. I'm going to sit down. Didn't have to prepare anything today except for food. This is awesome.
Thank you so much. I love you so much. I'm so proud of this girl, and thank you so much for coming today. She's an inspiration to all of us, and we've all grown together just knowing Val, and so many familiar faces. So thank you so much for coming. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about the business today. We're going to talk to you about the products today, and right behind you there is a whole holiday display that you're welcome to go and look at. But most importantly, I really guys want you to hear the vision and the culture of Arbonne and who we are, and it doesn't get any better than Kathy Epperson. She actually came, I met her on a cruise that I went on Arbonne. It was like my first vacation ever. And we just hit it off. We just sewed into each other, and I just think the Lord just put us together. And I couldn't ask for a better sister in Christ, and just a better business partner that just helps me. So she's going to talk to us today, and I just feel so privileged that you're here. So thanks so much. And then we'll have Lisa, who's reached down, and I moved to Tennessee 2.5 years ago. I felt that the Lord was calling me there, and I wasn't really sure. My whole business was here, and it was very scary. And this is Donna Bresson, and she was my son's kindergarten teacher. Aww. And totally loved on my boy forever, and was a great support for me. And we left, and we went to Tennessee, and Lisa Voorhees reached down and has loved me like a sister. Like, she's just loved me and loved me and loved me and just encouraged me, and she's got a whip too. She tries to get me going too. So she's going to be talking today too. So you're going to have some valuable information, and most importantly, you're going to get the vision of Arbonne. So thank you so much for coming.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Lisa Voorhees, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm secure enough in myself that I can wear flat shoes now. Woo! It's a big personal growth thing for me because I turned 50 in April.
Yeah. So welcome to the 50 Club.
That's right, the big 5-0. Yeah, it's pretty freeing to be 50. Everything's in a different place is the only thing. And when you're jogging and you stop running, things keep moving. But other than that, it's just great. But yeah, I've been with Arbonne for 15 years, and I've lost like 22 pounds on our 30 days to fit. My cholesterol is lower, and even I'm at 50, I'm healthier than I was at 35. And it's just been a great thing for me because I'm a fast person, and I didn't stay on diets because they were boring, for one thing, and because I got a lot of my calories in through my car window. Anyone else? Yeah. So now my rule is I don't get any calories in through my car window. If it can come in through my car window, I don't eat it. And that was a big step for me. And Arbonne really supports that because of the 30 days to fit. So that's number one. It's helped my health. It's also helped balance my hormones. I started on a natural balancing cream that we have when I was going through pre-menopause, that when my PMS just got to be most of my month. I had like 4 good days a month. And I couldn't figure out what the problem was. I went to my OB-GYN and she said, well, you're going to have to go to your family practice doctor if you want an antidepressant, because that's what you need. You're depressed. You're suffering from clinical depression. And I was like, well, what happened to me? Because I've never been depressed. I typically like spring out of bed, ready for the day, and all of a sudden I was like laying on the couch, not taking a shower, and just crabby. Anybody else just don't know, like, and something comes out of your mouth and you think, who was that? I don't talk like that. I mean, I don't say stuff like that. Anyway, so that sort of was also an area of health that I felt like was really vastly improved. I started using our natural balance cream years ago, you know, I don't know, 8 years ago probably, and at the time, or more than that, I guess 12 years ago, at the time I was beginning my Arbonne business, and I had quit a full-time job as a cosmetics account executive with a national cosmetics company, and I took a half cut and pay to do that. I had just started Arbonne, was pretty bad at it. I wasn't making enough money to make up that full-time salary, and we were very, very in a big crunch because my husband is a pastor in Nashville, but at the time we were actually planting a church, and he had taken a half cut and pay to plant this church. I took a half cut and pay when I quit my big corporate job, and so we were like counting every single penny. One of my goals with Arbonne was to not have to take my calculator with me to the grocery store, because I had exactly X amount of dollars to spend at the grocery store. So when I went on the hormone cream, it was about 30 bucks at the time, like, and I bought it like every other month, so maybe $15 a month, which was a huge chunk of our monthly food budget. And my family came to me and said, listen, we are willing to forego whatever groceries we need to make sure you have your hormone cream, Mom. And it made that big a difference in my personality. My husband's like, whatever it takes, we'll definitely sacrifice for you to have that. So I got my hormones balanced, and recently, more recently, I've shed some pounds and gotten my health to where I really feel like I'm on the right track health-wise. I do exercise, but I'm not a crazy exerciser, Val.
It's okay.
I could do a little better in that area. But, so I got my hormones balanced, I detoxed, I've gotten my, my 30 days to fit has really helped me. I just, every once in a while, do a 30 days to fit. But for the most part, I replace at least 1 meal a day with a vegan protein that Arbonne has, and fiber boost, and I constantly do fizz tabs and detox tea to help with inflammation. So that's really helped my health, my hormone balance, and then as far as my lifestyle is concerned, I've been signed up in Arbonne for 15 years, but I was terrible at it for 4 years. I was an on-again, off-again Arbonne consultant. In fact, in many circles, an undercover Arbonne consultant. Like Secret Squirrel, but only an Arbonne consultant. And I would just sort of like, one of my main marketing ideas was to just sit it at my sink in the bathroom, and then when people came to visit, they would ask me what it was, and then I would tell them, oh, that's Arbonne. And as you might imagine, it wasn't a successful marketing method. And so I had this limping along business. Also, I had been an account executive, so I thought I knew everything. I was really successful in my job, and I thought I could take that experience and bring it to Arbonne and do even better than those people at the top of the company, because I knew so much more than they did. That's what I thought. And so I was very frustrated and really thought about quitting Arbonne. And if you had talked to me during those 4 years, I probably would have said to you, this doesn't really work. I mean, it works, but it's just little part-time money. And I mean, because really, I thought, you know, if anybody can make it work, it'd be me, right? Because I'm already successful in this other area. So I was just very frustrated and even said to my husband, I'm going to quit and go back to work. I know how to be an account executive. I know I can make money at it. And he said, no, you're not. We're not getting back on the hamster wheel with you. We prayed about it 4 years ago. We spent money on it. We decided together it was God's will, and you're not deciding by yourself. It isn't. You can do this, and you will kick yourself if you don't do it. But what you're doing isn't working. So look at the people at the top of the company and do what they're doing. And I got a recipe. Basically, I've been trying to cook without a recipe. And you know what happens. You never can tell how it's going to turn out. I made spaghetti and meatballs with just pork the other day. And I know, Marion, that's probably not news to you because maybe your family uses pork, but in Tennessee we only use ground beef. And we think Italian cooking is Olive Garden. But anyway, I'll get into it. Anyway, but I only had ground beef, and I was making spaghetti for my college and career ministry. I mean, I only had ground pork, and I was making it for our college and career ministry, and they're just one step above chicken nuggets in their tastes, right? They're just one step better. But so I had to just use pork instead of beef, and it didn't taste the same. And that's going to be how your business will run. If you don't use the recipe that other people are using, you don't know how it's going to come out. So for 4 years I didn't have a recipe, and then I'm a creative person, so I would tweak the recipe. I just added just a little bit more of this, or not quite as much of that, and it didn't come out the way other people's businesses were turning out. So basically, after my husband said, actually, Lisa, I believe in you so much that it's Arbonne or bankruptcy for us. And if you don't start making it work, we are going bankrupt. Because every month we're going backwards financially. And he took away my plan B, because I kept thinking in the back of my mind, I could go back to that other job. I hated it, but in Arbonne, personal growth is involved. It's actually a personal growth company disguised as a skincare and wellness company. And really, if there's no challenge, there's no growth. So you're going to go through personal growth in this company that you can take anywhere. And use in any realm of your life, family, whatever. But it's not always easy. It's always beneficial, but it's not always easy. And we have a new saying on our team. We had a new business builder who's a top realtor in Nashville. And she's building an Arbonne business because she said, why not? Why wouldn't I? I lived through the recession when my salary went down 90%. I'm not ever going to put all my eggs in one basket. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't somebody build an Arbonne business? It's ridiculous not to. She became a district manager her first month, and she said my upline, the people that signed her up at Arbonne, called her and said, you can become a district manager if in the next 3 days you have $2,000 more in volume. You can be a district manager this month in Arbonne. And she said that kind of made me sort of feel a little bit pressured, but then I thought, hey, no pressure, no diamonds. No pressure, no diamonds. And so I remind myself of that. Hey, Lisa, no pressure, no diamonds. And in fact, Rick Warren, one of my heroes, says, when you're operating in your giftedness, pressure becomes pleasure. Pressure becomes pleasure. Like, I love a big goal now, but I had to go through the personal growth so that I could get rid of all that fear of failure If you're going to go somewhere you've never been before, you're going to have to become someone you've never been before. So what's Arbonne done for me? Well, I've been in the company for 15 years. I've been a VP with them, a national VP or regional VP for 10 of those years. I've made 6 figures a year for probably 8, 9 years in Arbonne. I've had 5 paid for white Mercedes-Benz. When I got my first Benz with Arbonne, I had a Mazda 929 that my brother-in-law had given us. And Walmart, do you all have Walmart here? Well,
Go to it.
oh yeah.
We don't know what it looks like inside.
Yes, Target. Walmart would not even change the oil in my Mazda 929 because there were so many oil leaks. They'd be like, Miss Voorhees, we're not going to be able to change your oil because we can't be responsible for it. Right? So I went from that car to my first Mercedes. And it kind of felt a little too good to be true. Also because my husband's a pastor, it felt a little weird for me because I kind of equated holiness with poverty. and I had to kind of get rid of that vow of poverty thinking and be okay to be blessed and to be just a conduit of blessing. We just sort of go, well, where do you want it, God? I don't have a big ginormous house because God told us to do something else with the money, but I've been crazy blessed financially. And I would just tell you that it's been tons of fun. Has it stretched me and grown me? Yes, it has. Has it been beneficial every single step that I've taken? Yeah. And I don't know, you guys are here tonight or today because you love Val or you love Elizabeth or whatever. And I don't really know what your goals are for the future, financially or personally. And that's certainly up to you. But if you're here today just kind of checking us out, it's definitely worth the time to take a look. People of all different backgrounds and personality types build Arbonne. In fact, most of our top income earners are actually introverts. They're very, very good listeners. Now, I had to learn to be a good listener. I'm a good talker, but people that are very successful in this business are very good listeners. So there'll be room for everyone. We actually, another concept I had a hard time with because I was an employee, so like I worked for an hourly wage behind the cosmetics counter and I wanted to move up to a salaried position. And I really wanted to be an account executive instead of being a counter person in the cosmetics department. You know what I'm talking about maybe. So I did finally get that job where I had a salary. What I realized was they gave you a salary because if they were going to pay you hourly, they'd have to pay you $1 million. Because you're going to work so much that it's a better deal for them just to give you a set salary. And I wanted a company car before starting Arbonne. I was like, I want that company car, and I want to wear that suit like the girl that comes in and takes people to lunch, and I want a salary. Well, they give you a company car because you're going to drive the wheels off your car. You're going to drive so much. I had my boss who was from New York City, where everything on the East Coast is kind of close together. Like New York and Boston, Philly, all those places are just a couple of hours drive away from each other. Well, my boss from New York, her assistant called me and said, Lisa, can you pick up Adrienne at the airport? Now, I worked for Adrienne Arpel Cosmetics at the time. She's now on Home Shopping Network, but I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. And Adrienne was flying into Little Rock, Arkansas. And I said, Jean, Little Rock is a 6-hour drive from Nashville. And she said, yes, I know. Just, yes, I know. So I got into my car and I drove 6 hours. She said, Adrienne doesn't like any of the car services in Little Rock, Arkansas. Oh, okay. So I drive 6 hours to pick up Adrienne at the airport in my little Chevy Corsica. And she gets into my car and she goes, how do you get the seat to move forward? Just like that. And I said, well, there's a little lever right between your legs there. You just slide it over and you move the seat up. And she went, that's a nail breaker. And I said, well, do you want me to move your seat up for you? Yeah, that's a nail breaker. So I pulled the car over and I moved the seat up for her, and I vowed right then that I would be doing something different next year for a living. I honored her as my boss and I really did a great job. I really believe in that. But I did everything I could to find myself something else to do. You understand? Bless Adrian, God. Just bless her and bless me with something else to do for a living. Have you ever had a boss like that? Yeah. So kind of that negative experience drove me to thinking outside the box. Because this is an outside the box kind of thing to think about. So if you're here tonight because you love Val or you love Elizabeth, and you're just sort of starting to kick it around, this is really the poor man's franchise, in my opinion. I did not have 2 nickels to rub together. I started my business for $1,500 15 years ago. It's $79 to sign up in Arbonne, and then you spend whatever you have for testers. We don't ever recommend more than $2,000 for testers, but you can start at $300 or $400, work your way up, whatever. But it's all about really the amount of effort you put into it, and to not tweak the recipe. We actually will be joined at the hip with you all the way to the top of the company if that's your desire. We'll tell you what the recipe is, and we'll teach you how to make it, and then you can teach other people the same thing, and we call that duplication. So I was a really great employee. I moved up to my salaried position, only to realize that being an employee, no matter what your position, kind of stinks because you only get paid on your own effort. In Arbonne, we're actually a great hybrid company. We're sort of a blend of direct sales, like Pampered Chef, great company, Tupperware, great company. Those are direct selling companies. We're a blend of that. You can go to do a group presentation and come home with $50 to $100. We love doing a group presentation called an ultimate facial or a wellness workshop, but it's one of the ways that we reach out and market our products. The other thing is, the other side of our business is the network marketing side, and that will take you from a good part-time job to a really excellent full-time income. And because you make a tiny bit on what hundreds or thousands, however big your organization is, you make an override on the total sales. So when you teach people to do what you do, we call that duplication, and you get paid an override. So I make a little bit from what lots of people are doing. For instance, there may be hundreds of Arbonne group presentations going on right now in the United States, Canada, that are on my Arbonne team. I'm only here with you guys, but I'm getting paid a little bit from what all those other people are doing. Does that make sense? That's residual income. Once you understand that, it's hard to sleep at night, and you get really excited about it. Because I was just a really hard worker. I'm a hard worker. Anybody else here a hard worker? You work hard for your money. Well, I'm a really hard worker, but I really couldn't work hard enough to make what I wanted to make. And what I realized was if I do a good job and I train others to do that same good job, and I'll get paid an override on what they do, then the profitability is endless. I've been able to support my family. My husband's a pastor who hasn't had to take a salary from the church in 6 years. I would tell you that the income is there for you, and you can build it as fast or as slowly as you want. You can be part-time, but you can't be sometimes. And what I mean by that is if you just work it consistently, whatever will fit into your calendar will work. But you can't work it like a lot and then not at all. A lot and then not at all. That was me during my first 4 years. It just won't work. So basically, why would you choose Arbonne if you go, yeah, I'd like to have personal growth and I'd like to help my health and I would like to kick around either part-time income or full-time income, why Arbonne? Well, it's 32 years old and we're not a brand new company. Unfortunately, network marketing companies typically don't live past their 5th year anniversary. Only 0.1% typically make it past 10 years. Arbonne's been in business for 32 years because we're a hybrid. People do direct selling and can make money right now. And then there's also the potential of a more full-time income with the network marketing side. Also, people actually like our products. And they're not weird and unusual, wacky products like, hey, try this one wacky juice. It's the wackiest product ever. The reason that that doesn't work is because you've heard about the one wacky juice or the one wacky pill that's new and weird and unusual. It's sea silver or whatever that was. Sea silver? What's that? That blew through for a while, and then Metabo Life, and you could just name the people that have probably come up to you and talked to you about products. Even companies that are network marketing that don't have a product at all. They just sell air or whatever. So you remember all those. It kind of gives our industry a bad name because they're here today and gone tomorrow. Arbonne is not, because people actually like our foundation. I'll absolutely knock you down for the primer. I use the primer. Yes. People love the detox tea. They're addicted to fizz tabs, fizz sticks. It's an excellent product line that people use anyway. We're not just finding 10 suckers to sign up for $2,000 and they find 10 suckers and they find 10 suckers. It's not that. It's not get in on the ground floor and get rich quick. What it is actually is building a network of consumers, telling the Arbonne story. The products are pure, safe, and beneficial. What that means is we analyze ingredients for their safety. We don't just put ingredients in there. We have Dr. Peter Matravers, who built Aveda from a $50 million company to a $500 million company. He came to Arbonne 2 years ago, and we've absolutely loved him. He has a lot of experience with Oriental Eastern medicine, but he's also has a doctorate in pharmacology, and he's brilliant, and he's such a great fit for our company. So we're always analyzing ingredients because I'm 50. I want cutting-edge anti-aging skincare. I don't want carrot and bee makeup. I want cutting-edge anti-aging skincare. I just want to know that I'm not going to end up with breast cancer from it. Does that make sense? Yes. So we don't use parabens. We don't use animal byproducts. We don't use mineral oil or petrolatum. We are not 100% natural, because not everything that's natural is good. Oleander is 100% natural. It's poison. Most of the deadly poisons on earth are natural. Okay, so we have someone at the helm that knows and sort of separates all that for us, because I can't think about it, you guys. Anyone here get a little confused by all the propaganda that comes out about everything? He sort of sifts through it, and if we find that an ingredient we've used is not up to standard, they reevaluate. So that's basically us and our philosophy of products. I don't know what you're looking for, or even if I've kind of piqued your interest a little bit, but we'll be here kind of mingling around. Our business is exploding right now. We've promoted probably 3 or 4 regional vice presidents. That's the level where we get the white Mercedes-Benz, just this year. And we're all coming together in Nashville, Tennessee in January to celebrate their success. And we believe that Val will be one of those people who join us in January. No pressure. No pressure, no diamonds.
That's right.
So we'd love for you to jump on board, because we are just, I mean, it's amazing what's happening. And it's so much fun. And there's no downside. There's really no risk. You're just risking a little time. It's $79 to sign up, and then you can even earn your testers if you have to. You can get them right off the bat. That's so much the better, but we'll help you do it no matter what. There are no barriers to entry. And we'll walk with you all the way to the top of the company. Someone walked with me. Someone walked with Elizabeth. Someone walked with Kathy Epperson. And we're happy to sow into your success. So if you want it, there's no reason not to step out and get it. It's a little scary to do something different, though, isn't it? My son, Kent, is a daredevil. My daughter, Kristen, was a firstborn, very cautious child. Any moms in here? She was afraid of everything. Kent, on the other hand, is afraid of nothing. One day, I was having about 50 people over to my house for Sunday school. I'll stop talking and give it to you, Kathy, in just a second. For a Sunday school dinner, and I'm rolling my hair in the bathroom, and I'm not a good housekeeper, so I'm always freaked out when people are coming over because my house is always messy. So I clean up everything, put stuff in, put the dirty dishes in the oven and just stuff like that. And I'm upstairs doing my hair, and people are about to come, and Kent is about 4 years old, and he comes into my bathroom, and he has an umbrella above his head, and he goes, "Mom, does this look like a parachute to you?" And I was like, yeah, it looks like a parachute to me. Well, we had a 3-story foyer at the time, and there was a little ledge on the outside of the steps that went all the way up to the 3rd story, and I'm doing my makeup, and I hear, whack! And then I thought, does this look like a parachute to you? I looked down, and there's my son just on his face in the middle of the foyer, just like this. He looks up at me, and he goes, "It looks like a parachute, Mama, but it ain't one." Yeah. It looks like a parachute, but it's not one. This actually could save you. It is one. It may just not look like one to you. It may be a little outside of your box, a little something different than you've ever thought of before. But if you want to go someplace you've never been, you have to be someone you've never been, and we'll help you with that. So my name's Lisa Voorhees. I'm an Executive National Vice President with Arbonne. I've been with the company for 15 years. I love it, love it, love it. I came from a cosmetics background, but 99% of the people in our business do not. And we have a really simple system for success. If you can read, you can build the business. So thanks so much for being with us, and I'm going to bring on Kathy.
Oh, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that this gal is the faith girl. If you ever think that you can't do something, just give her a call, and in about 5 minutes, she'll change your mind about that. We all have little self-talk about ourselves, you know, and little feelings of inadequacy, or sure they can do that because they're a doctor, or sure she can do that because she's Val. But Kathy is the epitome of believing in people and faith, and she's just very good medicine. So I'm excited to share her with you. She's actually the upline of Val and Elizabeth and of Miriam, of everyone in the room. And so Kathy Epperson, Executive National Vice President.
Thank you, Bailey. Thank you. It's kind of intimidating in front of all these people like this with no podium in front. Anyway, my story's a lot different than Lisa's, in the fact that when I heard about Arbonne, it was the hormone cream. How many people here use the natural balancing cream? Okay. So the thing I loved about that was that was how I was introduced to it. So if you ever have trouble prospecting people and you don't think, they don't wash their face, they don't take a shower, they don't, don't take nutritional supplements, don't eat, you can always get it with the hormone cream because they've got crazy hormones. And so when my friend told me about Arbonne, she told me about the hormone cream, and I said immediately, get it for me. I don't care what you do, just get it. And actually Dr. Deanna Osborne was speaking, and I'm from Kentucky. I moved to Washington. I'm here from Washington, but I'm from Kentucky. Okay, just got to clarify that because Washington's a little weird. I don't mean that in an offensive way. But it's just different when you come from the Midwest or the South. It's just a different culture, but we love it today. Anyway, so in what was I talking about? In Kentucky, I was actually, Dr. Deanna was in Kentucky, and she was talking she was going to be talking to a group about the hormone balancing, and that's how she started her business. And my girlfriend was a nurse and went to it and said, you've got to come to this. And she showed me this crazy lady with all these symptoms. You guys seen that little flyer and the crazy lady out of balance? Well, I knew I had all those symptoms, and my family knew I had all these symptoms. So I told her, just go and get me the cream. And she came back with it, and she said, oh my gosh, there's a business with this too. And I immediately said no. And I have to say, I am a person of faith, but I also have some pride like we all do. And I just thought, I'd been home for 19 years raising my kids, and getting back in the workforce, I just thought I was unemployable and I didn't have the skill set to do anything other than raise my kids, and I was good at that. But I just thought, I don't even want to hear about a business. I couldn't do a business. I don't even know how to use a computer. So how would I be able to run a business? So my mind was all about, how could I do that? No, don't even talk to me about it, because I just knew I was inadequate to be able to do that. So she gave me the cream, but within 1 week, that cream changed my life. I mean, literally transformed me. So much so that my husband alone said, buy it by the gallon, sweetie. You've got to have it. And it just changed my life. And I thought, who is this company? Who would make a product that would be so life-changing? And in the meantime, I just remember every night waking up and thinking of the people that this cream could help. So my friend was so smart and diligent. She actually gave me a tape on toxin awareness that helped me understand about toxins in our products. And I thought, I have been buying toxic crap for my family all these years and probably contributing to health issues. So I remember going into my daughter's bathroom, she was 16 at the time, and taking a big box and just loading all her stuff, and she would say, I bought that, and you can't take that, that's all my stuff. And I remember saying to her, girl, I wouldn't let you have brownies with a little bit of poop in it. So I'm not going to let you have this product with toxins in it. And so I remember taking that out and having my whole family mad at me. My husband, because I was spending all this money to urbanize my house, my child, because I'd taken all her good stuff. And we saw major changes in our family. We saw my son's eczema go away. They saw my happiness. And it just seemed that the products were just really working well for our family. But then my husband was the smart one. He was the one, because I still have the mindset, I can't do this business. But we're only talking about a 30-day period now, okay? But my husband looked at, back then we got this little envelope with the compensation in it, the policy procedures compensation, and my husband looked at that and he said, oh my gosh, Kathy, you could make some money at this. Back at that time, we didn't have income averages. I don't even remember that they even told us what a national vice president made. So I had no idea what the income was, and my husband just had the wisdom to know that this would be a good business and I would do well at it. And I remember thinking, he just wants me to support my Arbonne habit, that it had nothing to do with that I could do it. But he truly did really nudge me consistently, and I agreed to pray about it. And I remember once I agreed to do that, I could not stop thinking about Arbonne. It was, and I hope if you're a guest here tonight and you hear this, I actually hope you go home and can't sleep tonight. Because that's what changed my life, the fact that I couldn't sleep, and that I thought of all the people's lives I could touch, just by, and I wasn't even thinking about the money at that point, I was just thinking about the natural balancing cream and the products. That's really what got me to look at the company more. My friend was pleasantly persistent and invited me to 5 events. I turned her down for 4. And the 5th event, I finally went with her, and that's when actually Lisa Boyes was supposed to be there to present in front of 5 women, me being one of them, and she had the wrong date, so there was no Lisa. So my friend got up and just gave it was Linda Hefner. It wasn't even a very good presentation, but it was the quality of the women in the room. It was their glow, it was their excitement and their passion. And one was a lawyer who quit her law practice to do Arbonne. And I thought, oh my gosh, maybe there's something to this. But again, it still was never about the money. But I remembered when I decided to do it, I had tons of confirmation that it would be great. And I was unlike Lisa. I came out of the gate like a racehorse. In Kentucky, we have the Kentucky Derby. And I decided if I'm going to do this, I'm going quick. Because I knew that my kids had never seen me do anything outside the home. And it's just like I expected, Mom, you're not going to get that Mercedes. You don't think you're going to get that Mercedes, do you? And actually they said that, just as some kids do. And I think part of it was because I hated to see my time divided from them. I was always all about them. And at first I felt bad. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm dividing my time, I'm taking away from my kids. But I have to tell you today, that daughter that screamed and yelled about me taking her products, well, first, once she realized I could will my business to her, she decided to be the good seed, the good kid. And secondly, when she saw the lives that I had touched, when she started making, these people become your friends in your business. When she saw the people that were in my business became her friends too. And they started like just sewing into her. Elizabeth constantly asked, oh my gosh, she loves her like a daughter. There's just so many people that sewed into her life that were in my Arbonne business. She realized that I was making a difference, that I was having true meaning in my business, and I was changing the lives of others just by introducing them to this company. They all changed their minds, and my daughter today is in the business. She just got married a year ago, moved to Washington, and started her business because she said, Mother, you have ruined me. I saw you start from nothing, and you just out of the gate took, just by faith, jumped in this business. You didn't mess around with it. You followed the system, which let me tell you, that was the issue in the very beginning. I did not want to follow the system. I'm an out-of-the-box thinker, and I remember the first time I sat down with for coffee with Lisa Boyes, who came to town, finally showed up, and she sat down with us, and I think maybe my leaders put you up to that, to tell me this, but I remember her telling me what the system was, and I just didn't want to follow the system. I thought I knew better. And I remember her being very matter-of-factly telling me, this is the system for success. And I'm so thankful now, because if she not have been that stern with me, I think I would have gone my own way, and I might have been doing those 4 years of off and on. But because she laid out the system, and I committed to follow that system, she was successful. I wanted to be where she was in a much quicker time. And so I followed that system, and within 7 months, I was driving a white Mercedes. And if you don't think I didn't put that in my kid's face, then it was just beautiful, because to be able to tell them that, to show them that I don't have a college degree. I went through 2 years of community college, and I was administrative assistant. And so they had never even seen me work a day in my life, so I didn't have a big story to tell about this great career that I gave up for them. You know, no, I was a mom. And to be able to tell them that I didn't have to have a degree, I didn't have to be exceptional in school, I didn't have to have great talents. I just had to join this phenomenal company with products that are over the top good and just follow a system. And I had the ability with this industry and this company to go to the very top of the company. So 7 months to RVP, 9 months later I was an MVP, and actually people ask me, how did you do it? I followed the system. There was nothing special about me. When I started, I flubbed up like everybody else. I remember the first time I got out of my soccer shorts and my ponytail and dressed up and went into town. I went to a little deli, and I remember telling the guy behind the deli that, you know, I ordered something, and he said, oh my gosh, Kathy, you're dressed up. You know, people think when you finally put something on, oh, you look different. And I was like, yeah, I started a new business. And he said, what is it? And I went, well, and I remember looking down and being fidgety and nervous, and I was like, well, it's this anti-aging skincare, and it's a health company, and I started fumbling my words, and he just reached over and touched me on the arm, and he said, "That's okay." And I thought, oh my gosh, I got to work on that 30-second commercial they talk about. So I flubbed up in the beginning, but I didn't flub up with the system. I followed the system, and every time I had a failure, I knew that was an experience that would make me better the next time. I knew I just listened. I would go back and reflect on what I did. Maybe I talked too much, maybe I didn't talk enough, and I just got better. The more I practiced, the better I got at just talking to people and listening and just hearing what they had to say and seeing where Arbonne might be a fit in their areas of need. And that was just, it sounds simple, but you have to learn that, don't you? You don't come out of the gate knowing it all. But the beautiful thing was, while I was learning that, I was earning. So I love to say, you can earn while you learn with Arbonne. You can learn all this. You don't have to know everything that Valerie knows about all the health and wellness products. This ultimate facial that we do, I literally can script, and you read it. And I will read the script verbatim when I'm doing the ultimate facial. I can do it in my sleep, because I do so many of them. But I will read it, and I will tell the people there that I'm reading the script. So you can do what I do. And I don't have to know anything else. I can read, everything's right there. So I can literally sponsor somebody and have them do the script the next time we're together. I can be there for support, but have them duplicate me the next time because they're just reading the script. So it's one of those things that you can jump in right away and work and earn. And the earning alone blew me away. I mean, a national vice president average income is $21,000 a month. I just don't know of any other industry or any job where you can make $21,000 a month and you have no college degree, and my experience was 19 years prior to Arbonne. It's just mind-blowing that you can make that kind of money. So I tell people all the time, you know, if you have people that are or naysayers or telling you that, you know, oh, it's never going to work, these kind of companies don't work, well, guess what? This one does. And if they're not making more money than I am, then you don't need to listen to them. And I have a vested interest in this group, just like Lisa does. Lisa has a heart vested interest. You know, there's some point where they have to quit paying you when you're that deep in the company, you know, paying you on that leg of business. It's just the way it is in every network marketing company, but we're very generously paid. This group, I am paid on. And I just thank you, because you cannot imagine what we're able to do with that money. You cannot imagine what it's like to be able to sow into things that you truly believe in, to be able to give in areas that you know people have great needs. I mean, who gets to do that? That's what my husband said is true financial freedom. It's not that we get to pay our bills and go party and, you know, go on vacations. He says financial freedom is when you have the money to give away. And I love that. I love that. I love having that meaning. I'm a giver, and I love being able to give up my time to serve others. And that's one of the things you have to have in Arbonne. You have to have that. You have to have that giving spirit. You have to care about others. And where else do you learn that? We're in corporate America? No, you help somebody else, they're going to take your job. So it's like in this business, we teach others and we help them, and their success is so exciting. To hear Val give me any kudos on a call, I'm like, oh my gosh, $1 million wouldn't be more than that. To know that I sewed into somebody and it actually made a difference in their business. To know that somebody promoted because you maybe did a training that spoke to them, or because you paved the way, is just beautiful. This California team, I want to go back and just show you how powerful network marketing is. This California team was birthed by me knowing one person. One person. So if you're in my success line, if you're under Elizabeth, Valerie, raise your hand if you're in the success line. Okay. So you guys all are in Arbonne because of those women who are in Arbonne because of Elizabeth and Miriam and Tammy Knowles. Tammy Knowles is my best friend of 26 years. She was a cancer survivor, so she was the first person I called. I lived in Kentucky, she lived in California. First person I called, and I said, Tammy, you've got to take a look at these products. I heard Dr. John Lee speak. I knew the power of progesterone. I knew the significance of using healthy products. And so I called her, and she was on board for the products, but she's complete opposite of me. Thank goodness, because that's why she's my best friend. Because the two of us talking, I mean, I've got another best friend in Washington that I talk to all the time, and we both talk so much, we wait for the first person to take a breath, and then we jump in, you know. So sometimes we don't get to hear enough about each other's lives. But Tammy is like the complete opposite of me. I mean, she's a total introvert. I'm an extrovert, and she just is just precious, though. She's got a heart of gold, and so I just knew she would be great in my business. I knew she would be great with with just, people would just believe she was sincere, and they would just hear her heart, and her testimony alone was great. So she actually decided to join my business, but she tried to quit 3 or 4 times because she just didn't feel it was working for her. And I remember just praying and praying and praying over her to stay in this business for a couple of reasons. One, because her husband has a very nice job, unlike my husband at the time, has a very high-powered job, and he could lose it at any time. And then she would lose her lifestyle. 2, because of her testimony is so powerful, and also just because I wanted it for her, so that she would have something that would be hers, and that she could grow spiritually and personally, and I just thought that would be a great thing to do it together, to be able to work with my best friend. It would just be awesome. So I didn't let her quit. It wasn't an option for her to quit. And I stayed with her and hung on until we came out here to do one present. She was getting ready to quit, and I said, I'm going to do 3 or 4 more presentations with you. I'm going to fly out there. I'm going to write it off as business, which is another huge thing. We didn't even talk about the home-based business tax write-off. That's like extra income right there. But anyway, I went out to California, came out here to California again, and at that party, Marion Bell was sitting there, and so was Jill Bush. Jill Bush was at Tammy's first launch party, but Jill Bush didn't want to do the business. And when I came out the second time, Jill Bush was actually at another party and still not wanting to do the business, and Marion was there. And Marion came on board, and out of that party, there was Marion, Jill, Kelly, Lori, and I'm trying to think of anybody else. Tammy. 5 VPs birthed out of that. And 1, 2, 3 nationals. Not including me. And I wasn't even a regional at the time. So it's just the power of knowing one person. So all of this group was birthed. So that's just it's a huge key point for me, is that everything you do in life impacts others. Everything you do. And so don't make no mistake, every person you talk to, even if they say no, like I did to my friend 4 times, you keep following up, and you know it's not for none. There's always something that's going to come out of that. You're either going to learn to prospect better, or you're going to follow up, and that person could come in your business. I can't tell you how much my fortune has been in the follow-up. It's truly there. So if somebody says no, you make sure you bless them, and you go back and ask them again, because you never know when the time is right, when things change. I mean, just in this economy alone, somebody you may have asked in 2005 may have said no, but today they're saying yes, because things have changed, haven't they? So you never know, and I think if I had never really strongly listened to my husband and to me, just the Lord and what He had in store for me, then I would have missed out on all this and so much more. I've been blessed with friends. I remember them telling me at my first presentation, invite everybody that would come to your funeral. And because I was so, absorbed in my kids, I mean, I'm telling you, maybe 5, 6 people I could think of that would really listen to me, that I had built a rapport with. But today, I know where I'm going when I die, but it's just so wonderful to know that there will be people that will celebrate my life because I've touched their lives. And that's what it's going to be like for you guys that actually do this business and stick with it. Because even though for me, I don't feel like there were tons of highs and lows, because by faith, I know I was brought into this, and by faith, I know I'm going to be prospered, and I have been, and I know I'll continue to be prospered, because I continue to care about others' lives. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we've been taught in Arbonne. It's just about helping others. If you help enough other people, you'll get to where you want to be. So I love you guys. I love that there are faces in here that I've never met, and I can finally say thank you. Oh, girls, yeah, I just now saw you. Thank you that you've stuck with it. Thank you that you are on this team, and thank you that you are a part of my team. Because I just truly am just grateful for everything Arbonne has been. One thing that did happen to us that really was a shocker for me was my husband did make 6 figures. He doesn't have the job Tammy's husband has, but he did make 6 figures, and so I never really thought about the income, like I said in the beginning, which we didn't live. We lived comfortably, but we lived paycheck to paycheck. We didn't have a lot of extra money, but I got to stay at home, and my kids went to private school, so I never worried about the extra money. And it never crossed my mind to worry about what if he lost his job. But I remember after I became a national vice president, my husband called me, and it was about 2006, and he said, "You're not going to believe this." He said, "Our company has just decided that all of the upper management will now just be commissioned salesmen. They no longer have a company car. They no longer have expense account." And he said, "But the problem here is if I'm a commissioned salesman, all of the accounts I've brought into the company, I have delegated to commissioned salesmen. So I'm basically working for free." And he said, "So I'm just going to quit." And I remember just bawling my eyes out. Because, see, I started in 2003, and this was end of 2005. And he said, "Sweet pea, why are you crying?" And I said, "Because it just dawned on me why Arbonne was brought to me. You know, it was just another reason that had I not seized that opportunity and by faith ran with it, we would have been bankrupt. And my parents who depended on us would have been bankrupt right along with us. So you never know what's in store for you. When you get an opportunity like this and you hear the stories and you know it's a company of integrity and these are people with integrity that actually care about others, you got to grab it. I mean, I just think it's a no-brainer. I'm thinking, who would not want to join with us? I just don't, and who in this business wouldn't run with it like a racehorse? I mean, you literally need to think about the Kentucky Derby. What happens with those racehorses? They put blinders on, they are not distracted by the right or left, and they come out and they shoot for their goal, and nothing distracts them. So you want to do this business with balance. You want to make sure that you don't take away from, you know, everything from your family, that you're doing it with balance, but you don't want to be distracted from your vision, from your goal. And if you're not, you will make it to the top. If you follow the system to success, you will make it to the top. Make sure your thoughts, you take captive of your thoughts. You're in control of what you think. So if you're thinking negatively, you switch it around and think positively. You think what the outcome's going to be, and it's going to be a positive one every time you talk to somebody. If it's not, you think about how I can learn from this. I can tell you one thing that I've done for those of you in the business that has probably made the biggest difference in my business. My upline, Lisa Voorhees, Deanna Osborne, my sidelines, Marion Bell, downline, Marion Bell, Jill Bush, Elizabeth Constance, nobody in my entire organization, including my best friend Tammy, has ever heard me confess one negative thing about my business. I have never said, I can't sponsor, I can't book, I had crappy sales, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or this is not working. Never have they heard me say that, and they're all sitting right here so they could tell you if I was lying. Never. Because I believe I breathe life into my business by positive confessions. And I believe that because I believe that, there's just nothing negative that can enter my head. There's not room in my head for negativity. Because I know that this is a great company. And our products, Peter Matravers, the guy's Asian. Okay, I'm half Japanese. Asians are smart. He's a smartest man. And Asians are also about integrity. Their reputation is everything. And Peter Matravers will not let his reputation be tarnished. So you know that it's not the products, it's not the company, it's certainly not the compensation plan. Because the kind of gangster money the money we make, you can't make anywhere else legally. I mean, seriously. So then it's just about you and your mindset. And once your mindset is positive, you'll go into action. And once you're in activity, following the system for success, you'll be successful. So we're just going to hang around, I think, and just talk and, you know, just chat with you guys and maybe, you know, plant some seeds and more words of wisdom.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Somebody get her a fan. I wanted to let you know that the holiday line, which are products that we have just once a year at holiday time, we start. Marla, hi. What's up? There's a lady here. We have them right now, and everything is not here because there's a few things that are back ordered that we're still waiting for to arrive, but there are some things in there that you can sample and touch and smell and just check out. We get them early in September, and once they're sold out, they're gone. So we're going to be doing some Christmas in September and Christmas in October and Christmas in November until everything's gone, because they're really fun, yummy, wonderful products that make awesome gifts for every area of your budget. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to you, Lisa, and to Elizabeth, and to, where did she go? Where did Kathy go? She's in the other room. And to Kathy. I'm just saying thank you so much. And for Ed and Miriam to come out. Ed and Miriam come out. They live in Orange County. They do all their businesses there, and when we have something, she just says, I'll be there. You know, and she just comes, and they slog out here on the 405, and it takes forever. And I just appreciate all of that. And if you are here and you got to hear these ladies, this was a real treat.
You know what was valuable? I don't want to embarrass you, but it's valuable because they know that someone who doesn't look like you can actually build a business.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't have the expertise that you have. I mean, I don't even have a college education. I just read a script, and I'm at the top of the company. And Val is so impressive that sometimes that may hold someone back thinking, well, I can't be Val. but most of us aren't, Val.
Well, I just want to tell you that at nighttime I screw off this arm.
Do you?
This leg, this drawer. I have no hair under here. And I don't have a college degree. I didn't want to go to school because you know why? Because I knew I would have to take speech. Somehow I missed it sophomore year, and I was so terrified of the idea of getting up and talking to anybody. Now, I sound like this because I was at my son's football game yesterday, and I screamed my guts out. I usually don't sound so raspy, but it's my sexy voice. Anyways, I was afraid to take speech. The thought of talking in front of people, now the people that know me, can you imagine that I was afraid of talking? My husband's hoping this raspy voice like completely shuts down. When I get laryngitis, it's the happiest moment of his life. So I don't have that college degree. I am a person that sees an opportunity, I go, I'm going to try that. I really think I have massive ADD is the issue. I want to do everything. I want to try everything.
Yeah.
And Arbonne is a gift. If you're in it, you know it. If you just use the products, you know it. Just our health and wellness products alone. For those of you who aren't familiar with what I do on the side, I am a personal trainer and I'm so passionate about health and nutrition. We have a group that in the last 18 months has lost almost 4,000 pounds. You guys, that's not like 400 people. I'm talking about 150 that have lost that 4,000 pounds. So these products work, and in the midst of it, no high blood pressure, no, they're off of statins and cholesterol. Carlene right here has lost 140 pounds. Yeah, I mean, she's one example. She's on a spin bike now 5 times a week. She's in my class spinning. She keeps up with the kids that are 19 years old. She bypasses them. So I'm just saying, these products work because there's a program that goes with it. You know, I'm 62 years old and I think my spin looks amazing. Just kidding. Anyway, so if you're here and you're a guest and you're just checking it out, ask questions. We're going to be here. We want to share with you how to get started, or even if you're just interested in the products, whatever it is, I invite you to hang around, eat some more food. Please don't leave me with all this because we will never get through it all. Taste and smell. There's some catalogs here, and I have more information. I just didn't want to bombard you with paperwork, but we can bring anything down from the office that you want to look at. And then get to know each other a little bit. And I want to make sure I get to talk to people too.
One announcement.
Yes.
On Tuesday night in Hancock Park, West LA area, if you know anyone there, Lisa and myself and a few other people are going to be hosting another Arbonne event. So if you know anyone in that side of the valley, please take one of these and let them know. And we'd love to meet with them. And I'll be leaving on Tuesday night, but I'll be here all day tomorrow, either at Panera Bread or at Val's house, just working one-on-one, talking to you, working one-on-one, how to get started, what you think you need to purchase, what your budget is, and I can work with you one-on-one to get you started. If you're feeling that you want to do the business and you're direct to me, you have total help here. Don't feel like you cannot do the business if someone is not here. We do weekly calls, we do monthly calls, and we have a success line that will work with you directly. So, thank you so much.
Yes, and by the way, that is a good point. Elizabeth will be here. So if you're interested in what is that system for success, because we talked about it, we didn't really tell you what it was. You get to keep all your clothes on, so don't worry about that. It's nothing scary. But we can tell you what that system is if you want to hang out and hear that. And tomorrow there will be opportunity to really get some one-on-one training. So if that's something that you're interested in, you take advantage of it. And then Elizabeth is going to stay on Tuesday. I'm going to kick her butt in spin class.
We are working out.
Right? So anybody else who wants to join us, let me know about that. Other than that, I thank you so much for coming. Ron?
I just want to let everybody know, first of all, thank you for coming.
This is my amazing husband, Ron. By the way, I just have to say that we have people in our house all the time between Arbonne and Lose It to Live and training. And my husband and my kids are just so supportive, and they helped put this together today. So can we just say thank you? Yeah, he hates that,
I'm about football for
And he gave up football. Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
I just want you to know, you're going to see me picking up all these chairs to get them out of your way, but it isn't a sign that you guys need to leave. It just means I want to open it up so you can keep walking around, okay? So please don't think that I'm trying to push you out as I'm moving the chairs out.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Please feel free to just mill around and visit. And if you have to go, that's fine.